So, a long time ago, you guys might recall that I did videos on the top 10 songs from newly released albums, and I've decided to bring that series back, just not under the top 10 format, because as you guys probably know now, I don't do top 10s as much anymore. I'm trying to move away from that. But there were some people that asked where this series went, so I've decided to bring it back and do it as well as my Is It Good videos, because the Is It Good is like a overall review of the album. These videos are so I can go more in depth about my favorite songs, and this is good for people who have already heard the album and they want to see if I agree with what they think the best songs are, or for people who haven't heard the album and are just looking for the highlights of it. So yeah, at the top of the video description there will be a link to my Patreon. I explained my whole situation in the last video with why I'm plugging that. It's because, to make it a short story, I recently got released from my YouTube network. I left them. I'm trying to join the YouTube partner program, but the reviews are going really slow for that. So basically for a few weeks, I'll have zero monetization on my channel. So if you can go to my Patreon and donate any amount, whether it's $1, $5, it doesn't matter. Any amount helps. I would really appreciate that. But if you can't, don't feel like you need to. The videos will come out regardless. So that's all I got to say before jumping into this one, guys. This is CDTVProductions. And let's get right into looking at the best songs on Rich Brian's Amen.
I don't see you go like that, I'm not saying that I'm proud. Thinking about the times when you were going to my house. Had to let you go like that, I say it fucked me up.
This song was released a long time before the album was, but it still hasn't lost its impact. It's one of the more emotional tracks on the album, about Brian struggling to let go of his ex-girlfriend. I always appreciate seeing the more personal side of an artist, so this track was great for that. I also feel that his harmonies work perfectly on this song, and it gives the track a pretty unique sound to it. Not many people sound like Brian does on this song. The song sounds pretty chill despite it being about quite a sad subject, but it results in a very nice song.
I'm giving my number to any bitch looking like Ryder, I'm gonna stall, I'm taking many pics. I'm thinking about having many kids, even though some are gonna be like, goddamn, it's a lot of kids. Hit them with a good amount of the hits. I'm thinking, will I put them on?
This track was perfectly suited to be the intro song for the album, kicking off instantly with Brian flowing really damn well over a very minimalistic beat, only really made up of bass and a couple drums. It starts off pretty braggadocious, but then at some points, a few more layers are added to the beat, and the lyrics become a bit more serious, with Brian talking about his journey to where he is now, mentioning how he learned a lot of what he knows from the internet, which I still think is one of the most impressive things about his story. He also talks about Asian stereotypes in the last few lines of the second verse, and about how he's trying to break those stereotypes. It's a great way to kick off the album, and it's a good introduction to Rich Brian's story as a whole.
Get ready for this life. All I see is red and white. In Chicago, met the customs. Mean mugging motherfuckers, let me tell you something.
In my full review video of this album, which you can check out by clicking that card on the top right of your screen, I said that this song contained my favourite beat on the album. And speaking of Flight, that has my favourite beat on this album. The first time I heard it, I cried. I'll let you figure out if I'm joking there. I'm not. And that is definitely one of the reasons why it's on this list. The sounds throughout it could just best be described as colourful and fit the uplifting message of Brian travelling from Indonesia to America to open up more opportunities to him as a rapper. He really has an inspirational story and lays out a lot of it on here. My favourite part lyrically was when he talked about being nervous when he worked with Pharrell on his first studio session. As I imagine most people would be, Pharrell is quite well known. But eventually he got comfortable with it and managed to, start writing something. It's a motivating story told over a great beat, and that is what makes it one of my top songs from the album.
Brian, this is not a fairy tale, no, that's not what I'm implying. This is really not the type where I'm writing about flexing, not some bitches on the phone, but I'm really not replying type shit with the clip, and we going up.
This is one of the more humorous tracks on the album, and it turned out really well. I think the only small issue I had with it is that I couldn't stop thinking that it sounds exactly like something Lil Dicky would rap about. Even the beat sounds kind of like something Lil Dicky would rap over in a way. But the story definitely is personalized to Brian for the most part. Now, the story told doesn't exactly have many twists, but I still think it has a funny payoff, and might even be relatable to a few people. Like, the twist isn't gonna make you go absolutely crazy, but it's funny, it does its job. There were a lot of lines that made me smile or laugh throughout, and as I said in my review of this album, I really do like when Brian shows his humorous side, because he is quite known for his sense of humor. It's also another track that has a fantastic beat, and there's something about it that's just so catchy. Overall, just a fantastic song.
I don't mind the fans showing love to everybody, be the most important thing. I got Andrew with me, and he down to take a stab. Wait for me to walk in, is the word he always say.
Now, I've mentioned a lot of beats being good throughout this video, but if you want the hardest beat on this album, if you want a beat that just goes incredibly hard, this song has that type of beat. The first time I heard it, my entire face just literally scrunched up because it sounded so good. I think this is a song that really shows Brian has the potential to make it as a fully serious rapper, and his deep voice fits perfectly with the darker, bass-heavy instrumental. It's got good lyrics, but it's not insane lyrically. I just love it because of how hard it is. Sometimes a track just needs to sound incredibly good to be one of my favorites, and this is that type of song.
I'll just make this real. I'll show you.
Born in Jakarta, but I live like I'm from Calabasas.
And here we have my personal favorite song from the album. I'm not sure if this is an opinion that will be shared by everyone. I like to not look at other people's opinions until I've made my videos so that my videos aren't influenced by someone else's opinion. So I don't know if a lot of people love this track, but I did. Everything from the beat to the vocals to the collaboration is perfect. It's quite cool that both Brian and Niki, who features on this song, are from the exact same city in Indonesia. And speaking of Niki, her vocals are beautiful on here. This comes along with a really upbeat instrumental, and Brian comes with some really relaxed rap singing flows. And it's just a really feel-good song. It's so well put together, and it's another one that could be described as inspiring. I honestly don't think I have any complaints about this song. It's just a beautiful piece of work, and that is why Little Prince is my favorite song from Amen. Well guys, that is going to be it for the video today. I really hope you guys did enjoy this new kind of format for my best songs from whatever album lists. I'll be planning to do these a lot more regularly. Like I said, I'll do these along with my Is It Good videos, because I think at their core they're two very different types of videos. As always, I would really appreciate if you guys could support me on Patreon during this tough time, you know, making zero money off of YouTube. But if you either don't have the money to support me or just don't want to, that is perfectly fine. The videos are going to keep on coming, so thank you so much for watching, guys. I will hopefully see you all in the next one, and this is CDTVProductions signing out. Let me know your favorite songs from this album in the comments.